Traditional lines connecting Aboriginal nations became disconnected with the invasion of Australia. Subsequent colonisation and policies were designed to control environmental resources. Land was declared vacant, so movement across nations and clan areas were barred. And meetings with other family groups for ceremonies, resource and information sharing were blocked. The government forced Aboriginal people onto reserves, missions and stations, amounting to cultural genocide. At one stage in Australia's history, wholesale massacres and introduced diseases slashed the Aboriginal population from around 1 million to a mere 30,000. They broke down a complex and sophisticated system of communication and trade. They created barriers between Aboriginal people that had never existed before. There were policies that were developed that said that Aboriginal people could be moved around the countryside. And if you just suddenly take people who are living in that environment and pull them up and put them into another nation's territory, then what it means is they have no knowledge of that territory. They don't know what the resources are, and now you're forcing them to share their resources with another nation group. And it creates immense impact on how they navigate around the country and immense stress. Is it true that nobody was living here? Nobody owned this country? We've just been talking about how you all move across all these borders, how all of these nations butt against one another. So that's not true. If you lived on a reserve or a mission, you were not allowed to transmit your culture, and once you moved on to that reserve or mission, you were totally governed by the mission manager, the reserve manager or the missionary, and they controlled everything about you. We're still in the stages of rebuilding our communities because of that devastation. Culturally, family connections, keeping our obligations to the land and environment, and keeping our obligations to one another. We need to reconnect those lines because those reconnections will help us to create better relationships, not only between and amongst Aboriginal nations, but also in the wider community. It is your individual responsibility to find out, to learn about people from other cultures, and to work out how we can work together and how you can have open communication and improve the relationships.
Pangangain mangalangu durai, guinguliago, wala, warugarago, yalmambil gunana durai, mangalang, wananganabu, namangamarago, marambango, mangalang, murigawal, wanangana, guingulia, ngugunana, wuragarago, marawana, ngianigingo, yanana, dayangon.
Don't wanna know how long it's gonna take to bring them home, or close the gap, or react